Let's talk about seaweed soup. Welcome back to Sprung On Food. I'm your host, Kae Sprung. This season, we're talking about favorite foods, the history behind it, and the role it plays in the world today. Joining me today is mom and tech producer Ko Im. Ko, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it's so weird. I'm a mom.
You are a mom. We were just talking about that, and a little foreshadowing. This is going to play beautifully into our story, and so I'm especially excited to hear all of your insights on this topic. Let's talk about your favorite food, seaweed soup. What is your relationship to it? Why is this your favorite food?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people might think of seaweed soup as, oh, is that like miso soup? No, it's not, but there are some similar elements to it, including the seaweed. So my favorite food, used to be something else when I was a kid, but now that I'm a mom and I kind of am having all these full circle moments, I recognize that seaweed soup, or in my culture, it's called Miyeokguk. Miyok is seaweed, guk is soup, is actually my favorite food. It is comforting and it's something that I grew up with and have in turn grown to truly love and cherish and be grateful for.
I love it. And how do you personally prepare it? Is it quite simple and maybe traditional, or do you zhuzh it up a little bit? What's your way of enjoying it?
I have been blessed with my mom preparing it for me for every birthday since I was born. Although there was one year she forgot and I was very upset. I said, "Where's my seaweed soup?" I woke up and there was no seaweed soup. How can I grow a year older without my seaweed soup? She felt very bad, but still she made it that day. And I would say that it's one of those comfort foods that's made with a lot of love and care. It's not kind of a instant pack thing, right? You can get these like miso soup packs at your Asian store, but this is something where you have to kind of massage and moisturize the dried seaweed first, and then you have elements of meat. You want the right kind of spice with the garlic and the salt and pepper and sesame oil, and then there's a lot of boiling involved. Some of your listeners and yourself may know that Korea is a land of stew and soups. We love this kind of broth culture. So it really is one of the highlights. It's not the most complicated, but it is still something that everyone knows about.
Yes, absolutely. And it reminds me almost back in the day when kale was having its very viral moment, shall we say, in today's terms. It was an all-star thing and it was like everywhere. And I really didn't mess with kale that much. And I was like, all right, let's see what this is all about. And I bought a bag of it and I made a salad and did the dressing. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then it was like, oh, pro tip, you're supposed to massage the kale. And it changed my entire perspective. So that's where my mind went. I was like, oh, yes, it is absolutely a crucial step to do the massaging. I guess this is a very great universal thing for all green leafy, well, maybe not some, but a lot of them, right? Because it really does make all of the difference in the preparation.
Yeah, I was not and I'm still not a total fan of the kale viral movement, right?
You don't
Because
have to be.
kale is hard to digest. Meantime, seaweed is kind of soft to begin with, but as soon as it's dried, it needs to be massaged back. I would say that mom's way is the best way. I would venture to say grandma's way is
Mm.
an even better way, but mom's put a special kind of love and care into their children's food, particularly in Korean culture, that you just can't seem to emulate. So I can, and I have tried to make it on my own, and it just is not the same. Am I not boiling it as much? Am I not paying attention to it as much? I don't know. But it's something that, you know, I have grown to really be grateful for, just understanding like, oh, this does take a while. And the things that take a while seem to simmer and taste better.
Now, did you ever think to ask your mom for a tutorial?
Yes. So
Or is it like a secret?
no, no, no. There's no secret. You can look up like kind of most basic Korean recipes online. I think for her, she would say, you really have to choose quality meat because you do eat the meat. It's not just for flavor. And make sure you skim off, kind of all that excess gunk at the top when you're boiling with the meat. Other than that, it's kind of to your taste, right? How much salt you put in, how much garlic you put in. And so for me, I just think of it as really, even though it's seafood and it's more like an umami taste than something that feels yucky and like slimy, or it's just really smooth. It really soothes the soul. And what I love about it is that it's very simple. You can freeze packs of it. And so I did in my postpartum period. You can freeze packs of it and then thaw it, reheat it, and just have it with rice. And it feels like a full and very round, bodily textured meal.
Sold. I'm I'm in. Seaweed soup. You've sold me. No, this sounds fabulous, and we have so much to talk about when it comes to it. So, shall we?
Let's do it.
Well, today we're plunging into the world of seaweed soup, or as it's known in Korea, Miyeokguk. Now, this isn't your typical soup. No, this bowl is brimming with ancient history, healing powers, and so much ocean goodness you might just grow gills. So, grab your soup spoon and let's dive in. Long ago, along the rocky Korean coastline, seaweed wasn't just a little slimy sidekick, it was the main event. Coastal communities relied on the ocean for everything, and miyeok, aka sea mustard, quickly became a star in the culinary lineup. It was practically a mystical superfood. Early Koreans looked at it like, whoa, free health benefits right here from the shore? Amazing. Before you could say underwater salad, seaweed was being harvested by the boatload. Now, here's where it gets interesting. According to Korean legend, someone noticed whales chomping on seaweed after giving birth. Yup, apparently even ocean giants knew that seaweed was where it's at. This observation led to the centuries-old Korean tradition of feeding new mothers seaweed soup, dating back to the Goryeo dynasty. People figured, if it's good enough for a massive underwater mammal, it's gotta be good for moms, right? So seaweed soup became the official post-birth recovery meal, believed to help with everything from boosting nutrients to restoring strength. Fast forward a few centuries, and new moms across Korea are still handed a warm, soothing bowl of seaweed soup as postpartum care. Take that, chicken soup. Ko, how do you think that someone first discovered that these whales were eating seaweed after giving birth? And if you saw that, would you come to the same conclusion that you should eat it too?
Yes and no. There is a lot to learn from nature and other animals and species, right? But I don't know if I would have made a direct connection. That being said, right, history is cool and nature works. So just being able to borrow from Mother Nature. And by the way, the seaweed is basically only used for seaweed soup. It's not necessarily put into other things. So it's like it's all encompassing on its own, this seaweed soup, this miyeokguk, right? You don't have like seaweed salad or seaweed kind of sprinkled into other dishes for the most part in Korean culture, at least in my family. So it's really taken as like this contained bowl of seaweed, as if we were whales, is going to nourish us.
Ah, yes, whales and humans unite. Okay, well, seaweed soup didn't stop there. Koreans soon decided it was too good to be saved for just one occasion. Enter the birthday tradition. Now, instead of blowing out candles on cake, birthdays in Korea come with a steaming bowl of seaweed soup. It's like saying, happy birthday, here's a bowl of gratitude and greens, because it's also a way to thank your mom for, bringing you into the world. And just like that, seaweed soup became Korea's original birthday dish. So next time you think about ordering a cake, consider a bowl of seaweed soup instead. Now, Cole, you mentioned your birthday soups, so that is something that you got to experience. But I am still curious because it did sound like it stuck with you. That one birthday where all of a sudden the soup was missing. It later came, but what happened?
Was so shocked, you know,
And how old
it's
were you? Do you
like,
remember?
I
I
think I
feel like
was
you might
around
remember.
10,
Oh,
not old
okay.
enough to, you know, make it myself, but not expected to make it myself.
Great.
But I come to expect that my mother would have this meal for whosever birthday it was every year. Lo and behold, I'm like, why is there cereal? I'm supposed to have Miyeokguk for my birthday, or else, you know, in my mind, I'm not turning a year older. This what is his birthday without his tradition was really shocking. And she was, you know, shocked as well. Immediately kind of went to kind of fix the remedy, and thankfully you know, was able to turn it around in a few hours.
Ah, bless her. Okay. It was shocking at first, but it ended up okay. All right. Well, let's talk nutrition. Seaweed is loaded with the good stuff. Calcium, check. Iron, check. Magnesium, you bet. Iodine, oh, we've got it in spades. This soup is basically a multivitamin in a bowl, packed with vitamins A, C, K, and so many minerals you could practically charge your phone with it. And the best part, it's low calorie, high fiber, and loaded with that umami flavor we all crave. So you're not just eating a bowl of greens, you're eating one of the ocean's most efficient superfood. Personally, eating this, do you feel a lot of these benefits and how you feel throughout the day or versus days when you haven't had seaweed soup?
That's a good question that I almost can't answer because I was forced, or should I say, highly encouraged to have it every day, and not just once, but multiple bowls a day, not worrying again about its caloric intake, but really pushing for its nutritious benefits because I was also breastfeeding in the first few days and first few weeks. And my mom wanted to make sure that I was going to get enough recovery for myself and also be able to function and give my baby all the nutrients that he needs. So I think I would say beyond what the food actually is, even just the idea that it's a bowl of something warm, right? Something to keep the body nice and comforted. That it probably did help me. You know, I would love a scientific study on it, but yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it never feels bad to have a bowl, right? You don't feel stuffed. It's like chicken soup, as you said. It has all the kind of vitamins you want without it feeling like a healthy food.
All of the benefits just that are very sneakily put in there and has you feeling great and you know, maintains a healthy happy baby as well. So it's kind of a win-win. Now let's talk about the source itself, in this case sea mustard, because it's an amazing thing. Imagine diving into the cool, clear waters along the coasts of Korea, Japan, and China. There, attached to rocks on the ocean floor, you'll find sea mustard, waving in the currents like a forest underwater. But don't let these graceful fronds fool you. Sea mustard is working hard, growing fast, and quietly making a major difference for the planet. This little seaweed doesn't need much to thrive, just sunlight, cold water, and a solid spot on a rock. Once anchored, sea mustard grows with impressive speed, creating dense, leafy canopies that can stretch up to 6 feet long in no time. Talk about fast food. So, what makes sea mustard so special? Ko, do you have any ideas?
Photosynthesis, I don't know.
Listen, you aren't far off. For starters, it's a nutrient recycling champ. Like all good green things, sea mustard captures sunlight and converts carbon dioxide into oxygen. But that's not all. It also soaks up nitrogen and phosphorus from the water, which helps to keep oceans clean and healthy. Think of sea mustard as the ocean's very own filtration system. When agricultural runoff or other pollutants flow into the sea mustard steps up to absorb those extra nutrients. This prevents eutrophication, which is science speak for when too many nutrients cause algae blooms, suffocating fish, and turning coastal areas into murky swamps. Sea mustard is on duty, keeping the water balanced and fresh. But sea mustard isn't just a neat freak. it's a generous host too. In these underwater forests, small fish, crabs, and all sorts of marine critters find food, shelter, and protection from predators. Imagine living in a leafy green apartment complex where everything you need is within reach. Sea mustard's canopies are like an underwater refuge, filled with nooks and crannies for the ocean's tiniest inhabitants to hide, grow, and thrive. And thanks to sea mustard's support, marine life biodiversity thrives. It's basically the ocean's answer to a bustling city park, full of life and communities of creatures who depend on it. And get this, unlike land based crops, sea mustard requires absolutely no fresh water, fertilizers, or pesticides. It just grows in the natural ocean environment and sunlight. Plus, it grows super quickly, which means it can be harvested several times a year without harming the ocean. That's why farming seaweed is considered one of the most sustainable agricultural practices out there. Sea mustard really is a green hero for a greener planet. But wait, there's more. When big waves hit, sea mustard's underwater forests act like buffers, reducing wave energy and protecting shorelines from erosion. So not only does it help with food and water, but it also provides a natural defense for coastlines. As sea levels rise and storms get stronger, these seaweed forests are playing a bigger role in keeping coastal areas stable and safe. So do any of these facts about seaweed make you look at it any differently?
Yes, Catherine, this makes me appreciate seaweed, seaweed soup, the tradition so much more because it's environmentally conscious. Like I don't feel any mom guilt that I'm taking from the ocean with something that gives so much back. I mean, we have plants in our homes for a reason, right? We want to feel like we can breathe and we have some freshness. And so the fact that seaweed can do all of these things, right? The filtration, the housing, the prevention. And if we are made out of at least 75% water, then what is it doing inside our systems, right? It doesn't go in without any of the bad stuff, right? No kind of fertilizers needed, no extra energy needed. Once it's in your body, it's just kind of letting go of all the beautiful nutrients that it's stored up. So this makes me appreciate seaweed so much more. And we do really have to think about not just where our food comes from, but how it comes together. So thank you so much for all of that information.
Well, it was a great learning experience for me as well because I did not know any of that before. Well, let's get back to the soup. Today, seaweed soup isn't just reserved for special occasions. You'll find it in Korean households as a regular meal, sometimes with beef, sometimes with clams, sometimes with tofu for the vegans out there. Over in Japan, sea mustard takes a bow as wakame, the star in miso soup, and sunomono, a tangy vinegary seaweed salad. In China, it often joins the party in braised dishes, where it soaks up flavor like a ShamWow. Seaweed soup has also become a favorite in fusion recipes, popping up with miso, noodles, and spices, creating a hybrid comfort food that's as at home in fine dining restaurants as it is in your grandma's kitchen. Seaweed soup has also gained fame on wellness blogs worldwide, making appearances in health-conscious diets and as a go-to for plant-based eaters. It's basically gone from humble soup to full-on influencer. Ko, are there any moments in pop culture or modern society where you can think of that seaweed soup has made its mark?
I still watch a lot of Korean dramas, and as you probably know, K-pop and K-dramas, as they're also called, have really reached global phenomenon. And so a lot of people around the world are learning about Korean culture. And I see that many of the meals in the Korean dramas feature seaweed soup. Like if somebody's sick or if it's someone's birthday or just in general, let me prepare you a meal. I haven't seen it in American culture as a crossover yet, but we do know that more and more people are looking at other cultural traditions around the world, especially for postpartum. And so it's not just Koreans who might be having seaweed soup. It might be, someone else who just was looking for something good.
Are there any of these K dramas that you can shed more light on? Any personal faves?
Well, recently, Queen of Tears became one of the most popular and watched dramas. And there are so many moments around the dinner table that are crucial with some of the narratives and plot lines. And you'll notice, right? There's always like these side dishes, but there's always like a main dish. And oftentimes it is soup. So if my memory serves me correctly, there was seaweed soup at some point. The episodes are very long,
How long?
but it's totally worth it. You know, they're over an hour long.
Okay.
In
And is
American
this
episodes are like, 30 to 40 minutes, but in Korea, it's like a two-parter that my grandma will just like sit in front of the TV and just stay glued on for a while.
and for anybody who might not be familiar or who have seen one before, are they similar to the effect of, more of like a Spanish like novella or an American soap opera, or are they very different from those?
I think soap opera meets American rom-com would probably be a good
Oh,
comparison, but there are other genres, right? We all know Squid Game, right? That's more of kind of a drama kind of
that show
thriller.
terrified me.
Exactly,
I
yeah,
couldn't
but
even did you finish it? I couldn't
yeah, I
finish
finished
it.
it. I'm
Oh,
waiting for
you're
the
ready for
second
season 2?
season.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
but even there, right, there was that tradition of the dalgona, the cookie that they had to carefully break or they get eliminated. And so I love that
Spoiler for anybody who hasn't
yeah,
seen it.
exactly. I love that dalgona became viral after that. And
Yes.
there's like these dalgona fusion, like infused other treats, like dalgona lattes, for example, which
Oh,
never
probably
existed in my time
delicious.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that traditions are still kept alive and people are really uncovering why. What's the secret behind them? What is the benefit?
Absolutely. And that's why learning about all these different foods is so fascinating for me too, because I selfishly get to learn the history and in this case the ecology and everything behind it, which is so fascinating. And to your point earlier, just better understanding the source of just the things that we eat in, for this in this way, kind of a playful, fun way, but still learning nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, I used to ladle this soup without thinking twice about it. It was just like a given. And now I'm able to be grateful for it, appreciate it. And it's fascinating that in my late 30s, I actually will know more about it than I did as a teen. And I can pass this on to my son, right? And prepare it for his next birthday and the next, and maybe whenever he's sick and whenever he has his own child, if he chooses to. So it's a beautiful thing.
It's gorgeous. I love it. Ko, thank you so much for sharing your love of seaweed soup and helping me share its story.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and for raising awareness about my culture and my traditions. And it's so wonderful to be with you.
Thanks for watching. You can find links and more info in the description below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. See you next time.